All right, let's talk a little bit more about coolant, because this all has to do with heating, air conditioning, coolant temperatures. You use coolant for an engine. You use coolant to cool off batteries. You use coolant to cool off the inverter in a hybrid or electric vehicle. Coolant is now part of the whole thermal management system. And this is a serious issue because there's too many engines roasted and inverters, cars shutting down on the freeway, being towed back in the shops, mostly body shops, because they're on the lower end of the totem pole when it comes to education. So this was a good one. Now, they don't use a vacuum method to purge all the air out. They use the old school method of just put in some coolant, shut it up, run it, wait for the rumbling and engine to go away, or the air bubbles suck down. They don't even use the funnel method. They just overheat engines until they just need more coolant and just add more in, run it for a while. You can't do this shit on new cars, okay? You can't do this shit on cars 10 years ago. And remember the old Fiero? We're going back to the 80s, okay? This shit, vacuum, proper coolant purging using either the valves and different methods, or using the vacuum method, has been around for more than 40 years. This is what my dad taught me when I was just before teenager. Okay, that's going back quite a way. I'm 56, and the vacuum method was around back there. But the automotive industry is so ignorant, so uneducated. It's just pathetic. The amount of roasted engines. I wish I got $5 for every roasted engine that came from one of the body shops that worked for Hertz, and I'd have the Hertz rent-a-car a manager call me up. He says, hey, did you work on this car? Did those guys roll it out there with no coolant in it because they're replacing an engine on it and they want somebody to pay for it? And I'd either go, yep, I heard it. And so they're good at that. So let's go over here. Cooling system bleed procedure. Since this wasn't done right, and they're doing the old school method until all the bubbles go away. So this is through Max, okay? MACS. This is a program that's through Max. All I do is go to the barcode reader. Let's do this from the beginning. I'm going to show you. Everybody has this in their shop. If not, they're not a shop. You either have CCC, Mitchell, or you have the old books. Let me go back. Okay, so I just opened the program. Let's even go back. Can I go back more? Let me go all the way back again. All right, you see that symbol right there? If I could get my thing to not have blur. You see that symbol right there? MACS, Mobile Air Conditioning, Electron and Diagnosis. Okay, so now I'm going to open that. So let me click on that app. Boom, this is what you get. Okay, you could either manually put in the VIN number, vehicle, or you can scan it. Let me hit scan. Scan. Okay, now let's come over to this VIN number. Damn it, it's not going to get it, is it? Yeah, I had full. You need full sun. This is one thing. This thing is sun sensitive. There we go. It got it. Did you see that? There's the VIN number right there. Hit accept. Okay, so here's your choices right off the front. AC system, cooling system procedures, AC and cooling system specifications, component locations and diagrams, diagnostic trouble codes, miscellaneous capacities, TSBs, very important, videos, wiring diagram. All that comes out of this program, and there's many programs like this. And especially here in the, some guys, I understand they're in parts of the world where money is tight and getting a hold of information is tough, but this is online. You're on the other side of the world. This is in your pocket. You own a whole library in your pocket, so there's no excuse. So let me go to AC cooling system specifications. Boom, specifications. I want to know how much refrigerant, because this was in, say, in an accident and all the stickers were left out of the body shop and they never put the stickers back in. So let's go to AC system, and boom, right there. This car has the option of either having 134 refrigerant or YF for this year, make and model. Tells you the quantity, the type of oil. Look at that, ND8 for the R134, ND12 for the 1234. This is not rocket science, guys, okay? All the information is in your pocket. You got a freaking library with 100 books in your pocket right here on your phone. So now let's go back to cooling system procedures. I'm tired of seeing roasted engines and crackling head gaskets and freaking burnt things. Okay, so here's cooling system procedures. You go over cooling system procedures. This is bleed procedures. Bleed procedures. A, disconnect the water hose from the EGR valve assembly. Slowly fill the radiator, the engine coolant. Slowly pour engine coolant into the radiator and reservoir tank assembly until it reaches the F line. D, squeeze the number 1 radiator hose and number 2 radiator hose several times. This is something I did back, what my dad showed me back in the late 70s and early 80s. This is nothing new. This is old school mechanic stuff. Okay, we're no rocket science here. And check level engine coolant. If the engine coolant level is below the F line of the engine coolant. Connect the water hose connector to the EGR valve assembly. Align the water hose connector to the EGR valve assembly. Push the water hose connector into the EGR valve assembly and push into retainer to secure the connection. Let's go up a little bit. No. G, install the radiator cap to subassembly. Install the reservoir tank. I, perform the following procedure and set engine to engine speed. Set engine to engine coolant filling mode. You got more procedures there to move. Move the shift lever into park. Start the engine. Run the engine at 1500 RPMs for more than 5 seconds or more. M, run the engine at 3000 RPMs for 10 seconds. And then idle the engine for 10 seconds and repeat this step at least 3 times. Warm up the engine until the water in the inlet thermostat assembly opens. While the water through the thermostat subassembly is open, circulate the engine coolant for several more minutes. Turn off the ignition switch. Wait until the engine cools down. Check the engine for coolant between the F lines and the L line. Okay? This is what gets skipped all the time, and this is why I see so many cars come back into shops on tow trucks. And so, something to follow. All the information is right here in your hand, and you can download it on a car, and every technician can have this. Every shop owner and every shop manager should know this, and this information needs to be passed on. See you guys on the next video.